Welcome to Road to Space. As you know, the flight VA258 was supposed to lift off yesterday, but due to the weather, it has been postponed until tonight. So here we are.
Hello,
Emma.
Hello, Baptiste.
And in less than 15 minutes, Ariane 5 will be taking off from Europe Spaceport with very special passenger on board.
EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS is the satellite of all superlatives. Built by Thales Alenia Space, it is the largest but also the most technologically advanced satellite ever to be built in Europe by the global satellite operator EUTELSAT. This satellite is a major advancement in connectivity for Europe and one which will help reduce the white zones.
What a program. But before anything else, let's head over to Stéphane Israel, who is waiting for us in the flight cell. Hello, Stéphane. Welcome to Road to Space.
Hello, Baptiste.
So, Stéphane, today's mission will be for a passenger you are really familiar with, the operator EUTELSAT. Can you tell us more about this passenger and your friendship?
Yeah, so tonight we are going to orbit Connect VHTS, and this satellite is all about the digital divide, and it happens that we have a very long-lasting relationship with EUTELSAT. Tonight we will orbit for the 37th time a satellite for EUTELSAT, and regarding Thales Alenia Space, it will be the 166th satellite orbited by Arianespace, Thales Alenia Space satellite. So two old good friends with us tonight.
And let me know, Stéphane, is everything okay for tonight?
Yeah, so we have been preparing the final operations of the launch since now 12 hours, and we are going to check all the final parameters regarding the launcher, the satellite, regarding the range and the weather, and so far so good, all is green.
Okay, can you tell us about tonight's passenger?
Sure, so tonight we are in a single launch, so the mission is shorter than what we do usually. The mission will last 28 minutes and 46 seconds, and after all our launch operations, we will have orbited Connect VHTS.
Well, thank you very much, Stéphane. Good luck with everything. And of course, we will be following closely these events all the night.
Oh yes, Baptiste. Now let's welcome Vincent Baudel from Arianespace. Good evening, Vincent.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You are, of course, our leading space expert tonight and will be helping us to understand the key phases of the flight. So I would just like to ask you if you could talk to us a bit about these key stages, because we're going to be having some images which are just about to come up on our screen any second now.
Yes, so tonight, the Ariane 5 will lift off from the French Guiana. The French Guiana Space Center is the northeastern coast of South America. At H0, the Vulcan engine of the main stage will ignite, and once we have checked that the engine is working correctly, the solid boosters are ignited at H0 plus 7 seconds. At that time, Ariane 5 lifts off. The launcher will climb vertically and then perform a gravity turn, progressively tilting the trajectory. After 2 minutes and 21 seconds, the booster will have burned all their propellant and they will separate from the launcher. Around 1 minute later, the fairing will be jettisoned. At this altitude, there is no more atmosphere, and no need to maintain the fairing on the launcher to protect the spacecraft. We can see on the video the tower with the yellow dots, which represent the different tracking stations that will receive the flight data from the launcher along its trajectory. At 8 minutes and 36 seconds, the main stage will have finished its job. The engine will shut down and it will separate from the upper stage. A few seconds later, the engine of the upper stage will ignite and will burn for more than 16 minutes, shutting down once the targeted orbit is reached. To be noted that tonight, the injection orbit has a very high apogee, 60,000 kilometers. The injection on the targeted orbit will occur at 24 minutes and 55 seconds. After that, the upper stage will perform orientation maneuvers in order to give the spacecraft the correct orientation, and the spacecraft will be separated less than 29 minutes after liftoff. Once the spacecraft is on its way and far enough, The launcher will begin its end-of-life maneuver and passivation, completely emptying its tank and reducing its lifetime in orbit.
Well, thank you very much, Vincent, for all this information, and we'll be following all those key points tonight together. You said 60,000 kilometers,
yeah.
So that's an information we'll go back later. But for this moment, let's stay focused on the countdown that is about to start. We can see we have all the lights green on the panel, but yesterday there was a red. Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, so the status panel you can see on the screen provide the status of all different means and systems involved in the tonight mission and that contribute to the launch. This is managed by the CNES as a state authority and enables us to ensure the security of the launcher, the security of our customer and its spacecraft, the security of the installation, and of course of the teams. All the lights need to be green for the liftoff to take place, and if an issue shows up anywhere one of these lights turn red, we may stop the countdown to identify the problem, of course, to solve it, and then come back for the launch. So yesterday, high altitude winds over the launch site exceeded the limits that are part of the safety conditions for every Ariane 5 mission. High altitude winds can cause debris from the launcher to fall on populated areas. That's why the CSG, as sovereign safety authority, was unable to authorize the launch yesterday night, leading to the postponement decision.
Okay.
Thank you, Vincent. Well, at any moment now, the DDO, Director of the Operations in Kourou, should be announcing tonight's synchronized sequence. Of course, all the teams in Kourou are waiting for this moment with bated breath, and so are we.
Yeah, and so what I understand, it was a question of safety yesterday, so this red turned to safety. Now, let's focus on the images we have, and let's see, can you comment what we see? That's the fishbowl.
Yes, so here we are in the flight control center, so the Jupiter room. So you have all the teams and responsible involved for this flight tonight. We can see in the middle of this room the range operation director, so the DDO in French.
That will be hearing within a second normally.
Yeah.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le début de la séquence finale lanceur. Top, H0-7 minutes.
So this is what we were expecting.
Yeah, so the DDO has just announced that we have entered the synchronized sequence. So from now, the launcher is in its final automatic mode.
Thank you, Vincent. We will be having and keeping a close eye on that green panel for the next 7 minutes, that's for sure.
In the meantime, because we have some time, I would like to turn your attention on the exceptional passenger on board we have tonight.
Certainly is.
Yeah, EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS. It's the 37th EUTELSAT satellite to be launched by Arianespace. Let's take a look at this short report in which we will know everything about it.
Dazzling, tremendous, and incredibly powerful. Tonight, Ariane 5 takes off with a very special passenger, EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS. Approximately 9 meters high, weighing 6.4 tons, it simply is the largest satellite ever built by Thales Alenia Space. It will be operated by one of the leading operators in the commercial satellite business, EUTELSAT.
EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS est doté d'une capacité de 500 gigabits sur les 2 voies aller-retour, ce qui en fait le satellite le plus puissant de toute la flotte d'EUTELSAT. Pour le concevoir, il a fallu imaginer ce que serait un satellite de nouvelle génération, capable de servir les besoins broadband et surtout le plus efficace d'un point de vue coût de production.
Our passenger has a key mission to bring high-speed broadband across Europe, thus bridging the digital divide. To watch a movie or to communicate, to study or to work, our daily lives now depend on connectivity. EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS will be able to help over 500,000 households living in remote areas without access to the internet.
Avec EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS, Thales Alenia Space est aux côtés de la France et l'Europe dans leur ambition de déploiement de la connectivité très haut débit sur l'ensemble du territoire. Nous sommes très fiers de fournir à EUTELSAT, notre partenaire de longue date, un satellite au meilleur niveau de la technologie mondiale.
EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS, based on a Space Bus Neo platform, is a next-generation, very very high throughput satellite. It will support the development of the operator's fixed broadband and in-flight connectivity businesses.
Nous avons déjà plusieurs contrats commerciaux. Le premier avec Orange, filiale de Nordnet, pour servir la France. Le deuxième avec Telecom Italia Mobile pour servir l'Italie. Et avec le groupe Thales à travers leur division Avionics et leur société sœur Telespazio Arianespace Alliance. C'est des contrats qui ont déjà commencé avec Connect et qui vont se poursuivre sur Connect VHTS.
The birth of this gigantic satellite was made possible by the close collaboration between EUTELSAT and Thales Alenia Space. EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS is a record-breaking satellite.
Rien de tout cela n'aurait été possible sans une augmentation significative de nos investissements en R&D, ainsi que le soutien institutionnel continu du CNES, de l'Agence spatiale européenne et le recours au programme d'investissement d'avenir. EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS est emblématique de notre vision Space for Life et permet d'offrir aux citoyens européens une connectivité haut débit, hors pair.
Now under the fairing of Arianespace's launcher, this satellite is about to take the most incredible ride ever. A flight on board Ariane 5, destination geostationary orbit. Well, this satellite is practically 9 meters high, we learnt, and weighs 6.4 tons. It's what you'd call an XXL satellite. Not easy to maneuver, I imagine. So, Vincent, can you comment on the images that are coming up on our screen of the launch campaign?
Yes, so the launcher campaign started with the arrival of the launcher cryogenic stages and elements at the Guiana Space Center. The launcher operation started at the end of July with the installation of the main cryogenic stage inside the launcher integration building. Then the two boosters were transferred and integrated to the main cryogenic stage, and finally the upper stage was safely hoisted and integrated on top of the main stage. Once completed, the launcher was transferred to the final assembly building. The transfer of the impressive spacecraft payload from Thales Toulouse to Thales Cannes in France happened at night. The traffic was blocked as the convoy progressed. The complete spacecraft was then transferred to French Guiana by boat and arrived in Kourou at the beginning of August after a 2-week trip. The spacecraft container was transferred to the preparation facilities in the Space Center, where it was unloaded in the clean room facilities. Some inspection checks and health tests were run. After completion of this verification, the spacecraft was transferred in specific hazardous clean room where it was fueled. After completion of this fueling, the combined operation started with the mating of the spacecraft on its fly adapter. The spacecraft was then loaded in a specific container and transferred to the final assembly building, where the preparation of Ariane 5 was close to completion. As you can see on the video, Connect VHTS was then hosted up to the upper platforms and safely integrated on top of the launcher. Then the fairing was installed on top of the launcher, an operation that requires particular attention and control. And after completion of this installation, the logo of our tonight customer was put on the fairing. And finally, yesterday, the launcher was transferred to the launch pad, where it is now ready for liftoff.
Yeah, all this work, Vincent, to end now. The DDO is about to announce that we are only 1 minute away from liftoff.
DDO, attention pour moins 1 minute.
So now we don't comment and we watch the show.
Top, H0 moins 1 minute. À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage des EAP. et décollage. La trajectoire est nominale. La propulsion est nominale.
Well, Ariane 5
amazing.
has just disappeared up into space. I mean, that was incredible, Vincent et
La
Baptiste.
propulsion est nominale.
The clear skies, the sounds of cameras clicking.
And we still have an incredible image.
Incredible image.
That's really a bright night.
So, Vincent, can you tell
Le
us
pilotage
now?
est calme.
We're intrigued to know it's disappearing up into space, but what are the next important stages of its journey?
Yes, for the time being, the launcher is still in its initial conditions. That is to say, still in one piece, I would say. But in 1 minute, approximately, the two solid booster will separate from the main stage. That will occur at precisely at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Then 1 minute later, the fairing will be
La
jettisoned.
trajectoire est
No more
nominale.
atmosphere, so no need to maintain the fairing on the launcher. At 8 minutes and 36 seconds, the Vulcan engine will be switched off, and the main cryogenic stage will be separated 6 seconds later. So the engine of the upper cryogenic stage will be then ignited and will take the reins during more than 16 minutes in order to reach the targeted orbit.
La propulsion est nominale, le pilotage est calme.
And we have the image of
Yeah.
the booster.
We still have it. It's incredible.
That's incredible.
Séparation des EAP.
So you have that confirmation.
Yes, we have the confirmation, yes, as you can see, that the two boosters have been successfully separated.
So, Vincent, what I would like to ask you is, without these two boosters, the launcher is obviously now lighter than it was at takeoff. Can you tell us more about its weight now? Why does it need these boosters anymore?
Yes, so the launcher is liberated from any dead weight in order to maximize the capabilities of the different stages. So that's why, as soon as the solid propellant located inside the booster has been fully consumed, the two boosters are separated. So after this separation, the mass of
Tous
the
les
launcher
paramètres sont nominaux.
is only 170 tons, to be compared to 770 tons at liftoff time.
We still have an incredible image. That's incredible. And now we're waiting for the next stage.
Yes,
Séparation de la coiffe.
yes, we got confirmation that as you can see on the video, that the fairing has been successfully jettisoned. So here we can see the spacecraft. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Vincent. We have 5 minutes before our next
La propulsion est
milestone.
nominale.
So let's talk about Ariane 5's mission. We will come back to the different stages of this flight in a few moments, but before that, I would really like to talk about the specific geostationary orbit that we mentioned at the beginning of this program and towards which Ariane 5 is obviously now heading. First of all, what are the main orbits operated by Arianespace?
Well, for observation and meteosat, that need to pass over an Earth region at the same local time every day, we use SSO orbit, so a sun-synchronous orbit. For the International Space Station and also particular satellite constellations that need to be relatively
Trajectoire est
close
nominale.
to the Earth's surface, we use a low Earth orbit, for which the proximity to Earth is very useful, I would say. The TelecomSat, as a Connect VHTS, need to stay constantly above one particular place over Earth. So they have to be placed on a geostationary orbit. Ariane 5 can inject such telecom orbit, satellite, on a geo-transfer orbit called GTO. So the satellites are not directly placed on their final orbit. They need to use their own energy. They can move to the final geostationary orbit.
Okay, and you explained me before that it's a specific flight tonight because the orbit targeted is special.
Yes, tonight Ariane 5 will inject the Connect VHTS spacecraft on a GTO orbit with an apogee at 60,000 kilometers, which is a little bit unusual. So the strategy to consider such an injection with a very high apogee comes from a request from our customer and is made possible by the performance capabilities Ariane 5 can offer for this single launch mission. So we have customized the injection orbit in order to satisfy as best as possible the request and demand from our customer.
Okay, I'm sorry to insist. Why is it a special demand, I guess? You know.
In fact, such GTO injection enables our customer to reduce the quantity of propellant needed for the spacecraft to reach the final geo-orbit after its separation from the launcher. So in other words, such injection is a more energetic orbit, enables to reduce the propulsive cost for the spacecraft to reach its final operational orbit. The consequence is that the spacecraft will consume less propellant and its operational lifetime will be then extended.
Okay.
So what kind of satellites is this particular orbit suited to?
Such orbit is very interesting typically for electrical satellite as Connect VHTS. It enables the spacecraft operation engineer to optimize the post-launch sequence from the spacecraft separation from the launcher up to the time when the spacecraft is positioned in its final orbit.
Okay. Let's go back to life, tonight's mission. Can you tell us about Ariane 5's present status?
Yes, so we are getting near the end of the main stage flight, so the flight sequence is running perfectly as expected. Yes.
La trajectoire est nominale,
the cutoff of the main stage engine will occur in 1 minute and a half, approximately at 8 minutes and 36 seconds. And the launcher is still tracked by the Galileo ground station near Kourou. It will be seen very soon by Natal. So
thank you.
Yeah, we got the confirmation that the launcher is now seen by the Natal ground station.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to say, going back into the Jupiter, we are with these very important VIPs today: Eva Bernecker, Dominique Dinin, Ross McInnes, and Hervé Derey. A bit of information here. Eva took the helm of EUTELSAT at the beginning of the year as Chief Executive Officer. Dominique heads the telecom. They're not just here on the screen yet, but but we'll see them
outside the Jupiter room.
But
watching,
we'll see them later.
Definitely.
There's Dominique, who heads the Telecom Operators Board of Directors, of which Ross is a member. Hervé heads Thales Alenia Space, and it's his teams who designed and built the satellite launch tonight, EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS. But
and we'll have the pleasure to interview,
exactly.
to interview later in the on road to space. Let's go back to the flight, tonight's flight. We are not waiting for another announcement, really important by the DDO, and it's about the main core.
Yes, so there will be a successive announcement by the DDO. So there will be the extension of the main stage, then its separation, and after the beginning of the upper stage flight.
Séparation de l'EPC.
Okay.
So we got confirmation that the PC is now the engine is cut off, and the main stage is well separated, yes.
Well separated. And we can see on those images
yes, and the upper
behind
stage
us
is now ignited, yeah.
Okay. So far, so good.
L'image de l'ESC.
Yes, so everything
les paramètres sont nominaux.
Is running as expected. And in few seconds, we will lose the visibility of the launcher from the Galileo ground station.
Okay. And all of this is 100% normal.
Yes, 100%.
All is going to plan. Well, we are just about...
We're just waiting, yeah.
Exactly, for the Galileo tracking station to lose it. It's obviously operated by CNES in Kourou. It is the first telemetry station located on Ariane 5's trajectory, which is obviously eastward launch. In the last 2 minutes, it is the natal tracking station in Brazil, which has taken over and is now in contact with the launcher.
Okay, so we're still waiting for the next announcement. For those who are joining us, you will have a replay. Stay with us. Can you just give us a sum up of what happened and what will occur?
Yes, so the main cryogenic stage was separated 1 minute ago, approximately. So this main stage is falling back to Earth, so in the Atlantic Ocean. And now the upper stage, yes, has taken the reins of the flight, and the Ariane 5 mission continues.
At this stage of the mission, Ariane 5 no longer looks anything like the launcher that took off at 6:45 local time. How many kilos did it lose exactly?
Well, the launcher has been lightened by the mass of the empty main stage, and its weight now is only a little bit more than 25 tons, to be compared to 717 tons at liftoff time.
Okay, thank you very much for all those informations. As Ariane 5 continues its trajectory, let's take another look at this unique satellite on board, the EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS. It was a challenge to build for Thales Alenia Space. We'll learn more about its construction. It's our next lineup, Because Science.
Le satellite KONNECT VHTS se caractérise par sa taille, sa puissance et son efficacité.
KONNECT VHTS est surtout un défi, est un satellite très très puissant et qui nous offre beaucoup de flexibilité.
Bertrand and Tony are engineers for the operator EUTELSAT. For the past 4 years, they've been working on the latest satellite of the fleet, EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS. On the occasion of this launch, they granted us an interview to share with us the secrets of this unusual satellite.
Le but, c'est vraiment d'essayer de réduire cette fracture numérique dans une partie de l'Europe, le nord d'Afrique ainsi que le Proche-Orient, ainsi que de fournir des services de connectivité pour les avions et pour les maritimes. C'est un satellite superlatif, c'est le satellite le plus gros, le plus massif, le plus puissant qui n'a jamais été construit en Europe.
Il fonctionne de façon classique comme les autres satellites géostationnaires de télécommunications.
Basiquement, ce qu'on veut, c'est d'établir un service d'Internet entre un fournisseur d'Internet et un utilisateur. Et au lieu d'utiliser un câble de fibre optique ou un lien ADSL, on va utiliser un satellite. C'est un peu différent que les autres satellites classiques qu'on a, qui fournissaient la télévision. C'était des satellites qui avaient des faisceaux assez larges. Maintenant, dans un satellite HTS, on a des faisceaux assez étroits.
Grâce aux antennes de 3,50 m.
Ce qui va nous permettre de réutiliser la fréquence autant qu'on peut, ce qui va booster la capacité. C'est un satellite avec une telle capacité qui le fait très attirant pour le déployer pour un service de type broadband.
Il a deux particularités, c'est qu'il utilise un système de propulsion électrique, utilisant des propulseurs plasmiques, qui permet d'optimiser la consommation de carburant pour le transfert depuis l'orbite d'injection jusqu'à l'orbite géostationnaire, et aussi pour les manœuvres à poste. Et après, il y a une deuxième innovation, c'est le sous-système de contrôle thermique, qui utilise ce qu'on appelle une boucle fluide, qui permet de mieux répartir les calories dissipées par les équipements de la charge utile.
Pour nous, du point de vue commercial, c'est la première fois qu'on embarque un digital processor ou un processeur numérique. C'est le plus grand, le plus puissant jamais mis en orbite. Et ça va nous permettre de gérer flexiblement la capacité, de la louer là-bas où il y en a besoin.
For these two engineers who are passionate about technology and innovation, working on this satellite has been an incredibly special experience.
C'est un sentiment de fierté d'avoir participé à cette aventure.
Je reprends d'abord ton dernier mot, la fierté. Du point de vue technique, c'est un défi. C'est un défi de travailler pour un satellite complexe comme KONNECT VHTS avec un DTP. C'est pour la première fois qu'on a ce type d'équipement dans l'un de nos satellites.
C'est toujours excitant de travailler pendant 4 ans sur un satellite qui est l'un des plus puissants et les plus gros jamais construits en Europe.
During our report. So during our report, we saw the acquisition of Ascension Tracking Station, which is the third telemetry station on Ariane 5's trajectory, located, guys, as its name suggests, on Ascension Island in the Atlantic Ocean. Did you know that?
Yeah. On board Ariane 5 tonight, we have a highly innovative satellite. I talked to you before, the EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS. So VHTS means very high throughput satellite. Vincent, the previous launch of the KONNECT satellite was in 2020. It was in January the 16th, but it was a lighter one.
Yes, the first KONNECT spacecraft was launched as well by Ariane 5. It was a lighter spacecraft, about 3.6 tons, based as well on a Space Bus Neo platform from Thales Alenia Space. It was the first flight model, and successfully launched in dual launch configuration to a standard GTO orbit.
Okay.
Can you tell us about this amazing, this very strong relationship bond there is between Arianespace, EUTELSAT and Thales Alenia Space?
Yes, so Arianespace and EUTELSAT have built a very strong relationship since 1983. A very long and mutual confidence, as demonstrated by the two-night launch. Connect VHTS is a 37th EUTELSAT spacecraft launched by Arianespace.
Well, yeah, so that's a long-term friendship, we could say. We've been talking about the past, but now let's talk about the future. Let's talk about Ariane 6, the new European launcher.
Because of course we are getting closer and closer to the maiden flight. Teams from ECA, CNES, Ariane Group have been very busy over this summer, reaching important milestones in the preparation of Ariane 6. Well, in the following report, we have all the latest updates and we'll be showing you some exclusive images.
Exciting times for the European space industry as the combined tests for the Ariane 6 launcher have begun. The objective of these tests is to verify and validate the compatibility between Ariane 6 and its dedicated launch pad at Europe's spaceport in French Guiana. It's an essential dress rehearsal to prepare and train the teams before the rocket's inaugural flight. An industrial and human adventure with thousands of people spread across many European companies and institutions working together. The Ariane 6 program is managed and funded by the European Space Agency ESA, with Ariane Group being responsible for the design and development of the launcher itself. The French Space Agency CNES took responsibility for the construction of the new Ariane 6 launch base at Europe's spaceport, and Arianespace will be the launch service provider for Ariane 6. With the combined tests at Europe's spaceport, a number of milestones have been achieved over the course of the summer. In the new launcher assembly building, teams from Ariane Group, CNES and ESA completed an important step of the process, the horizontal mechanical and electrical assembly of Ariane 6's central core. A few weeks later, the rendezvous. For the first time since its conception, Ariane 6 was able to meet its launch pad. The doors of the launcher assembly building opened to let Ariane 6's central core through. It took about 20 minutes at 3 kilometers per hour for the launcher to cover the 800 meters separating the assembly building from the launch pad. The rocket was then lifted from its horizontal assembly position to its vertical position. Ariane 6 is the first launcher in the Ariane series to be assembled horizontally. It makes it easier for the technicians and helps save time and money on every launch. Another element contributing to the competitiveness of Ariane 6 is its P120C solid rocket boosters. The P120C solid propellant motor is also used by Europe's other new launcher, Vega-C. Sharing this key component means cost savings for both rockets. The P120C demonstrated its performance on the 13th of July with the successful inaugural flight of Vega-C. But it's not only in French Guiana that testing of Ariane 6 continues. In the purpose-built test facility in Lampolshausen, Germany, crucial firing tests of the upper stage engine will soon begin. Then the upper stage will undergo further testing at ESA's ESTEC Technology Centre in the Netherlands. Now only a few steps remain before the teams at Europe's spaceport can switch from the test models they're using for the combined tests to the flight hardware that will be used for the inaugural flight of Ariane 6. A first which will be followed by many launches, continuing Europe's heritage of independent access to space.
Well, it's always very impressive to see the big beast moving on the launch pad.
The beautiful beast, Baptiste.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, let's get back to our mission. During our report, the Libreville tracking station located in Gabon has recovered the signal from Ariane 5.
La propulsion est nominale, le pilotage est calme, la trajectoire est nominale.
So we hear the DDO, everything is perfect. So in about 10 minutes, EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS will be separated. This unique satellite was designed by the Thales Alenia Space team in Toulouse, in the south of France. And in our next report, we'll hear about the work of the satellite operation architect and the program manager. This is what we call our space work.
My favorite.
Je m'appelle Juena, j'ai 33 ans, je travaille comme ingénieur opération satellite à Thales Alenia Space.
Je m'appelle Stéphane, j'ai 48 ans, je suis maintenant chef de projet chez Thales Alenia Space et je suis ici depuis une vingtaine d'années.
Je travaille en tant qu'ingénieur opération. Ces opérations consistent à tester les équipements, à réaliser des poussées sur orbite pour corriger en fait l'orbite, jusqu'à ce qu'on arrive sur l'orbite finale, l'orbite dans laquelle le satellite va vraiment réaliser sa mission.
Je dirais qu'un chef de projet, c'est un peu comme un capitaine d'équipe de sport, foot ou autre. Et son rôle, globalement, c'est rassembler des équipes, faire travailler des gens ensemble, de différents niveaux, de différents métiers, leur donner les lignes directives pour les étapes à franchir, les challenges qui sont devant nous. Gagner le match, c'est quoi? C'est livrer un satellite avec les performances et le niveau de qualité requis, dans les temps et dans le budget qui m'est alloué. Et voilà, c'est un chef d'équipe, quoi.
C'était mon rêve d'enfant. J'ai toujours voulu travailler dans le spatial, depuis que je suis au collège à peu près. Je pense que c'est en 4e que j'ai eu le déclic. Je voulais même faire astronome. Et après, donc, mes parents m'ont plutôt incité à me diriger vers des études d'ingénieur. Et par contre, clairement, c'était ingénieur dans le spatial ou rien. C'était vraiment ça ma vocation. Le mieux, effectivement, c'est de faire une école d'ingénieur. Du moment qu'on est motivé, on y arrive.
Majoritairement, c'est quand même des ingénieurs qui travaillent dans ces métiers-là, mais pas que. Il y a quand même effectivement de la communication, il y a de la finance et de la gestion de projet. Ce qui m'a beaucoup plu là, dans ce projet, c'est voir à quel point on arrive à motiver une équipe pour réaliser un objet, on va dire, un peu hors norme, et voir à quel point l'équipe s'est prise au jeu.
Il y a tellement de nouveautés dues au fait que c'est le plus gros satellite qu'on ait jamais fait, qu'il a fallu trouver des solutions inédites à certaines problématiques qui sont posées, et ça a motivé les équipes.
Pendant toute la phase d'assemblage du satellite, on l'assemble petit à petit, les petits morceaux par petits morceaux, donc il grandit petit à petit, donc c'est comme les enfants, on les voit pas trop grandir en fait. Et puis on a un test un peu particulier où on teste le satellite dans une configuration qui est proche de celle qu'il aura en vol. Et pour le faire, on le suspend à plusieurs mètres de hauteur. Et la première fois que vous rentrez là et que vous levez les yeux et que vous voyez un vaisseau spatial de 9 mètres de long au-dessus de vous, là vous dites waouh, enfin, c'est énorme.
Ça fait depuis l'Antiquité que les hommes regardent dans le ciel, ça ne va pas s'arrêter demain. Il y a encore des très grands projets qui s'organisent, aller sur la Lune. Il y a encore de très très grands challenges à réaliser dans le spatial. Je pense vraiment que l'homme est un explorateur et donc ça ne va pas s'arrêter là.
So for all you students watching with us tonight, if you have the heart of an explorer, opt for a career in the space industry because this is where the future lies.
Yes, definitely the future.
Vincent, during the report we had the confirmation, I think, of the signal acquisition in Malindi.
Yes, so we got confirmation that the launcher is now seen by the Malindi ground station, a ground station located in Kenya, so near the equator, in the east of Africa. And this is from this ground station that the spacecraft separation from the launcher will be seen.
Yes, and we are now only 5 minutes away from the separation of the EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS satellite. So what will happen between now and then? What are the steps? What are the next steps?
In 1 minute and a half, the engine of the upper stage will be cut off. The launcher will be then injected on the spacecraft separation orbit.
Extinction de l'ESC.
It will enter a ballistic and orientation phase, the aim of which is to prepare the launcher and the spacecraft for the final separation. The spacecraft operation engineers will progressively take control of the satellite, and after different health tests and verification, they will initiate successive maneuvers in order for the spacecraft to reach its final orbit. So once arrived on the geo-orbit, the operational life of the spacecraft
début de la manœuvre d'orientation
could then start for a 15 years lifetime.
Okay, so we heard the DDO just announced the start of the orientation maneuver. Can you explain what this means exactly, and how do they manage?
Yes, so after injection on the separation orbit, and before the separation of the spacecraft, the launcher is slowly oriented according to the spacecraft needs. An important tilting is done between 150 degree and 160 degree, smoothly with a low rate of 0.8 degree per second. The duration of this orientation phase is about 4 minutes. These orientation maneuvers are ensured by the attitude control system of the Ariane 5 upper stage. Once the launcher is oriented in the correct orientation, the spacecraft separation is ordered by the upper stage. The clamp band that maintains and secures the spacecraft on top of the launcher is released and opened by a specific pyro activation device, and then the spacecraft is smoothly separated by a relaxation of specific springs.
So Vincent, can you tell us how the Arianespace team operates this maneuver?
So this is the work of a whole team. So the different steps of the mission are studied in a very early phase in the frame of the mission analysis and the launch preparation. Usually there are 2 loops in this launch preparation, so a preliminary one and a final one. On the basis of the spacecraft inputs we receive from our customers, the Arianespace and Ariane Group teams work together and perform different studies and simulations that include the trajectory, of course, the ballistic phase, the relative optimization, the payload separation, and the non-collision verification. The trajectory is finally optimized considering both launcher constraint and the spacecraft requirements, and enabled at the end to produce the flight software for the mission.
Well, thank you very much, Vincent, for all those explanations. Approximately 28 minutes ago, Ariane 5 lifted off from Europe Spaceport. In a couple of minutes, it will complete its mission. EUTELSAT satellite will then commence its own mission, and it's a mighty, ambitious one. Before talking about that, what news do you have from the fishbowl? We see them on the image. Everything is concentrated.
So everybody looking forward to a final announcement from the range operation director. We can see on the screen. So we are in the very last seconds before the spacecraft separation, and we wait for the final announcement.
And it's probably one of the key points.
There we see Eva Bernecker, who is at the helm of EUTELSAT. Yeah. We just saw her.
Séparation EUTELSAT KONNECT VHTS.
Wow.
Excellent. Wonderful news.
We don't have much to explain when you see people clapping, when you hear this atmosphere. Vincent, can we say it finally happened and it's a success, and now the team can relax? Can we say that?
Yes, so all the teams, as you can see, are very happy, so we can relax a little bit. So an important step for the spacecraft is achieved, but it's not fully finished. So on launcher side, the mission continues with the end-of-life maneuvers of the launcher upper stage, so with the objective to reduce the apogee of the orbit, and then avoid any risk of collision with the spacecraft, of course.
Okay.
So we've seen on the screen, in the fishbowl, we saw Eva Bernecker, who is at the helm of EUTELSAT. We saw Hervé Deray, who's head of Thales Alenia Space. His teams obviously designed and built the satellite launch tonight.
Yeah.
As we know,
in a couple of minutes, we will be interviewing
them. And this obviously is the culmination of years of work for all teams involved in this project.
So now let's try to find Stéphane Israël, because it's always at this time. Normally we have a connection with Stéphane Israël, but if I were there, I would probably be shaking hands and
exactly.
And enjoying the success
moment
of this mission. So while we are waiting for Stéphane, yes, you know this place, Vincent, because you've been there. So those are the guests.
I'm sure.
And those are the people we will have in interview in a few seconds. And now we are waiting for Stéphane Israël. He will be with us within a few seconds. Oh, Stéphane, congratulations and welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
So it's a success. You can confirm now that it's a success. We can see the big smile on your face.
Yes, this is an additional success for Ariane 5 tonight. You know, it is the 114th Ariane 5 we have delivered tonight, and we are very happy of this success for our dear customer and partner EUTELSAT, with a satellite, outstanding satellite from Thales Alenia Space. And I really want to thank all the teams who have made this success possible. Arianespace for sure, our prime contractor and first shareholder, Ariane Group, and all the European team with CNES, ESA and the industrial team. This is their success and they can be very proud of what they have achieved tonight.
Yes, I'm sure that's a global success and everybody should be proud. Let me ask you one question. What's next?
So, what's next now? So, our next launch will be on board of a Vega, and it will be for Airbus with a 2-Pléiades Neo. It will be the second Vega C, and after the maiden flight, the first Arianespace is going to operate. It will be 21 of November. And later in December month, we are going to deliver for two good old friends of Arianespace as well, EUMETSAT and Intelsat, and it will be the last Ariane 5 of the year in December.
Well, thank you very much, Stéphane. Thank you and congratulations to all the teams in Kourou. And for those who are watching tonight, be there for the Vega launching, because it's always different images than from Ariane 5. It's always really spectacular. Thank you very much, Stéphane.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Stéphane. He will have the pleasure of interviewing the guests,
Eva
Berneke, CEO of EUTELSAT, and Hervé Deray, CEO of Thales Alenia Space. But before, this is all the images we want to watch. Let's watch
again
the replay
and
of this liftoff that was incredible. And even for you, Vincent, it was a nice one.
Yes, you're right. So it's.
Well, those images are incredible. I said, even for you, you're used. You know this, but it's always a special moment for. It's always a special moment for us.
For us, I mean,
to witness
look at that,
this,
look at
but
that
even
image.
for you, I mean,
all the lights flashing, the cameras flashing.
That's a spot you've been in, watching.
Yeah. So. This is a very special time for all the teams. So it constitutes the results of several years dedicated to the preparation of the mission, and so it's a real achievement of a common work and joint effort. So it is a great satisfaction for everybody. Yeah.
So, as Baptiste asked you, have you ever witnessed a flight from Kourou? Have you been there? Have you?
Yeah, so...
What was it like?
So in the past I participated to many launch campaigns, and I must say that the most exciting moment for me, yes, it is the liftoff time, precisely when the launcher starts its mission. So in the following minutes there is a feeling of accomplishment, and we can see with our own eyes the results of a lot of investment and pressure. So the investment of many work hours, yes.
Okay.
So let's go back to the Jupiter room and see if Gregory is ready for us.
He should be ready. He should be waiting.
I think I can see them all lined up.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hello, Gregory.
Yes, Baptiste. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm very happy to be here today with you, and I'm standing with Eva Berneke, the CEO of EUTELSAT, as well as with Hervé Derré, the CEO of Thales Alenia Space. So let's start with you, Eva. So the satellite has been separated now, but the operations are not over for you, right?
No, this is a start. It's a separation. We're still waiting to acquire it at the other end. Then we'll have some months of orbit racing. And then we'll have several months of customer testing as well before we actually start serving our final customers with this amazing spacecraft.
Yes, indeed. I can imagine this is a once in a lifetime for some of your teams. And what did it represent, all this work and all these years and this achievement that we have right now?
It's a big first. It's a very big first, and I think we've heard enough about Connect VHTS tonight to hear that this is trying to address a very big issue for all of Europe around the digital divide. To do that, we've launched something truly innovative together with Thales Alenia Space, which is going to be providing a 10-fold times capacity to bridge that digital gap across Europe. But it's a long journey. It's a journey of a full team, some innovative engineers, and a whole lot of teamwork, and it's not over yet. Hopefully it'll last for another 20 years.
Yes, indeed. That's all we wish. Thank you for being here with us tonight, Eva. Hervé, as we told, this is a great moment for EUTELSAT, but also for you. What does it represent to have manufactured, designed such a satellite?
Hugely important. This is, as a matter of fact, a decisive moment both for EUTELSAT and Thales Alenia Space. Look at what we've done. The most capacitive communication satellite ever built in Europe is now in space. So thanks a lot to Arianespace for this wonderful launch. Well done, Stéphane. Well done to the teams. Thanks also to CNES and ESA, without whom this project would not have been possible. Thales Alenia Space is extremely proud to have designed and manufactured this Connect VHTS, the satellite of all superlatives, as we called it. This satellite will deliver broadband connectivity across Europe, Middle East and North Africa with a throughput of more than 100 megabits per second per user, which is equivalent to fiber. So this is totally in line with the vision of Thales Alenia Space, Space for Life.
Congrats indeed, Hervé. So as Eva mentioned earlier, there is a lot to do now until the satellite will be operated on its final orbit. What about the work that your team will do in the coming maybe days or weeks?
So first, before talking about days and weeks, we are talking about minutes, because what we are expecting now is what we call the first cry of our baby, meaning the signal that's going to be emitted from the satellite to the ground, so that our team that is located now in Cannes will be able to connect with the satellite, operate it, and basically manage the in-orbit raising that will take place in the next months, up to the validation of the space segment. And then the satellite will come into service, and we will not, let's say, leave the journey at that point of time, because Thales Alenia Space and its sister company, Telespazio, will also, let's say, distribute the service for Connect VHTS, especially or notably for governmental customers.
Thank you very much, Hervé Derré, CEO of Thales Alenia Space. Thank you very much again, Eva Berneke, CEO of EUTELSAT. We wish now the best to EUTELSAT Connect VHTS and a long life to it. Back to you, Emma and Baptiste.
Thank you very much, Gregory. And we probably will back to you a little bit later, because you're waiting for Philippe Baptiste, CEO of the CNES. Now we can say, Vincent, mission completed.
Yes, mission completed for Ariane 5. A perfect launch tonight for a new success for our launcher. So we can wish a long life to EUTELSAT Connect VHTS.
And let's enjoy another replay, because it's always a great time.
Always a great pleasure to see it go up.
And that was 40 minutes ago. So 40 minutes ago, and now the satellite is already released. Isn't it amazing?
Amazing. All that happened in such
40 minutes.
Time. Only 40 minutes ago.
And you're in space.
Look at that clear night. Clear skies.
Et décollage.
Can everyone?
Yeah.
Can everyone assist at this liftoff?
I mean, I guess you can't be on the launch pad, but
I suppose you could be on the beach, the Pampoon beach.
Yes,
nearby.
you can. There is different location to assist.
Tell us whereabouts can one assist then? So on the beach, in an observation point.
Yes, there is a different observation point. There is a Toucan launch site observation site. So the nearest to the launch pad. Of course, there is as well, as we have seen, the Jupiter control room outside, of course, and as well on the Kourou beach, you can assist the launch perfectly.
Okay, we are going back to Kourou, to the fishbowl, because they were even closer to the rocket than being on the beach, and we are going to connect with Grégory and Philippe Baptiste, President. CEO of the CNES.
Yes. Yes, Baptiste. Here we are back in Kourou. Part of the team who make this launch tonight a success is the CNES, the French Space Agency. And I'm standing here with its president, Mr. Philippe Baptiste. So it's a great success to you. I think not only about what CNES does on launch and preparation of launch, but also on the satellite, right?
Thank you very much. Yes, it's a great success, and congratulations, of course, to EUTELSAT and to Arianespace for this great launch. I am very proud not only for the launch base. I mean, and I want to also to thank very much all the teams that have been working on this launch, and including also les Forces Armées de Guyane, who have been really securing the base and working very hard to make this happen. But on top of that, I want to stress that we had the opportunity to work a lot with Thales Alenia Space on the payload, on the satellite itself, with a lot of R&D programs that have been led over the last few years. For more than 250 million euros, financed by CNES and by Secrétariat Général pour l'investissement. So it's really a huge investment in terms of R&D for the payload, and it's a great achievement, I think, for EUTELSAT, but also for Europe, because of this of bridging this connectivity gap, digital gaps that we still have in some parts of Europe, and it's really a great achievement for all.
Thank you very much, Philippe Baptiste. This is indeed a great achievement and a great mission that is starting right now. A few minutes now before we wait for the acquisition of the satellite. Thank you very much. Back to you, Paris, and have a good night.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Vincent, for being with us today. Thank you, Baptiste, and congratulations to everyone at Arianespace, Ariane Group, European Space Agency, and at Europe Spaceport for making this launch happen.
Yeah, thank you for all the teams working with us, all the teams working here in Kourou. Thank you, Vincent. It was a pleasure being with you tonight. We had really amazing images. Thank you, Emma. Good night to all of you, and thank you for following us. Stay tuned. Road to Space will be back for the next launch with more exclusive and exciting content. If you look at the stars in the coming days, remember, we are building our future up there.